Hello and welcome to January Street Studios. In this lesson, 9.1, going to be looking at how to add layers to your Soundtrap project. Layers, you may be asking, what is this? Well, it makes your song going from this.
Bows into the bone, there's darkness in your soul.
Eventually going to this.
You're cold, cold heart, you're cold, cold heart.
Now there's many steps to go in between these two. I'm going to show you just a few of these two on this lesson. One of the simplest ways to create some layers is to change some of the effects. One of those is adding reverb. What you can also do is keep the original track, duplicate it, and then add the reverb on that, and it starts to sound like this.
Bows into the bone, there's darkness in your soul.
Okay, so there's definitely some benefits to adding that. It brings a little bit more to it. But what if I want to add more? The next step is going to be looking at how you can add maybe some chords or some inner parts, some different notes into it, something to help it move along. That may sound like this.
You're cold, cold heart, you're cold, cold heart, yeah.
But again, that sounds just kind of plain. And so we go from doing that, we can add more reverb, and it goes to this.
Haunt me like a ghost that won't leave me alone.
There's a big difference between
your cold, cold
the first one
your cold, cold heart, yeah.
and even leaving the first one we had without any reverb and matching it with this one too actually creates a lot of layers. Layers is adding more tracks on top of each other that have different parts and different components to make it sound better, more full, more warm or cozy or chilly or whatever your mood you're trying to inspire through your music. Layering is going to help you get there. So let's look at another example. First, I want to take this track right here, the cold lead, and it's in B flat minor. It's very important you understand what that means. And we're going to look at it. I'm going to put it right here. And you can see I've already added some more tracks over here. All right, so the first thing we already have is the cold lead and background vocals. And it's number 1 on this one, so it sounds like this.
Bows into the bone, there's darkness.
So it's already got some of those chords with it that happen to make it sound pretty good. I did not add the one with the reverb on this yet, but you'll see why in a little bit. So I want to make sure that I stick with this key right here. It says B flat minor. Now when you go into your loops, really important that whenever you go through the filters on this, you go in here and you match that to a minor scale. Or if it says major on it, you match it to a major scale. If you're looking for the first track, of course, it could be any scale. It's good to understand that you can't really mix and match the minors and majors very well. And so you should try to aim for an all minor or all major when you do your tracks on these. So the first thing I added was a piano bass line. So let's add this together and see what it sounds like.
The bone, there's darkness in your soul.
Okay, so that's got lower pieces to it. The vocals have some higher and some mids. The piano adds some bass to that on there. We're going to add another part now. I found a guitar part. So we have our vocals. We have our bass part in the piano. I also added this guitar part, which sounds really fast with this tempo. But it's going to add a lot more to the inside parts of this. Then I decided I wanted to get the lead by itself. And to do that, I just took the other one again and added it to it. Now, one thing you heard on the previous one is when they play together,
there's darkness in your soul.
The lead part, the main voice, is a lot more present when you have that together like that. So this is layering. This is adding two of the voices together, and you see one of them has background vocals with it, but you want more of the other one. And that's an easy way to enhance that vocal part. The last thing I want to do is I want to compare and see what I have so far. I have a high frequency track on here. It is most definitely the voice part, and adding a little bit of that is also the guitar. We also have a medium frequency kind of part, which is the inside background vocals of the vocal part and the guitar as well. And then we have a low frequency, which is like the bass. We have that in the piano. So all we need now is maybe some percussion to kind of fill this one out completely. So I add this other percussion part in here, and let's see what it sounds like now.
Rose into the bone. There's darkness in your soul.
All right, so definitely some positives to this. So now that we have all the tracks that we really want to put all at the same time, this is going to be the part where we start layering it and balancing these. Now, balance is when you hear all the parts together and you want the parts that need to stand out to actually stand out, and the parts that need to be in the background put more into the background. So right away, we know that we're going to put the vocals a little bit higher just because we want to hear that. That's going to be the main part that we want to hear. I'm going to bring that up a little bit more. And I'm going to guess on this one that the guitar part is not going to be so important. It's just filling in the middle parts. And then I also want to bring down the bass maybe just a little bit. Let's see what it sounds like.
Rose into the bone. There's darkness in your soul. You're cold, cold heart. You're cold, cold heart. Yeah. Rose into
the
the
higher your decibels are going to be, and it could start to mess with your compression ratios on there. All right, so there's a few other things we can actually do once you kind of get this sorted out. It's basically what sounds good at that point. Can you hear the part that needs to be heard? Can you hear the part that is in the background but still present? And that's basically what we did right here. But the key to this is to balance it out so that what needs to be heard is heard well, but everything has a place and everything is present. I'll see you next time for the next lesson.
Into the bone. There's darkness in your soul.